For decades, Oprah Winfrey sat upon the throne of global media, an untouchable arbiter of truth whose endorsement could sanctify a legacy or resurrect a career. It was Oprah who originally provided the platform, the literal and metaphorical microphone that allowed Meghan Markle to launch a full-scale offensive against her own family. Yet, in a twist that feels like a Shakespearean tragedy, that very microphone has been turned around. Oprah, whose own professional aura has noticeably dimmed since the late 2025 public backlash regarding her perceived complicity in the bullying of the Princess of Wales, has decided she has nothing left to protect. The Queen of Media has performed the ultimate pivot. She has trained her lens not on the victim she once championed, but on the woman she once called a confidant. For years, Oprah acted as the Sussexes' final bastion of defence, a formidable shield against the arrows of the British press. Today, however, that shield has been sharpened into a spear. This is no mere tabloid squabble. It is a clinical, professional deconstruction of what Oprah identifies as main character syndrome, a psychological state she admits she was too enamored to notice until the damage was irreversible. "I looked at her through the distorting glass of a publicist," Oprah confessed during the broadcast, her voice carrying a heavy cadence of both indignation and profound remorse. "I was sold a narrative of victimhood, and I bought it wholesale. But when you strip away the filters, when you look at the raw, unpolished, unedited frames of her life, you see a person with an insatiable, pathological craving for dominance. This is not about collaboration, it's about a total, uncompromising conquest of the room." Oprah's primary evidence began with a forensic look at the Kevin Costner charity gala on September 22, 2023. While the public saw a brief, awkward clip of a duchess reaching for a microphone, Oprah provided the raw reality that the cameras missed. Meghan did not just reach for the device, she stalked it. The event was designed for Prince Harry to be the primary speaker. Yet Oprah described Meghan as vibrating with the kinetic need to be heard. The footage reveals a duchess attempting to physically wrestle the mic from a professional staff member who was simply executing her duties. Oprah characterized this as the Hollywood ego attempting to hijack a moment of pure philanthropy. "She cannot draw breath unless she is the one regulating the oxygen in the room," Oprah noted. This was not a singular lapse in judgment. It was the opening act of a documented pattern of microphone snatching and social erasure. The analysis then shifted to the Godmother Bookstore opening in September 2024. In what Oprah termed the Bookstore Betrayal, Meghan reportedly bypassed the moderator entirely, speaking over her long-term associate, Courtney. The dynamic was chilling. A supposed friend treated like a background performer in a high-budget commercial. "If you are not the protagonist," Oprah remarked, "you simply do not exist in Meghan's ecosystem." Even the ties of blood offered no protection. Oprah highlighted the October 2023 Archwell Foundation Parents Summit, where Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, attempted to offer a heartfelt, personal insight. The reaction was instantaneous. Meghan's eyes snapped toward her mother with a coldness that silenced the room, immediately reclaiming the narrative thread. "The mask slipped for a heartbeat," Oprah observed, and underneath was a look of absolute, icy control. One of the most revealing moments discussed by Oprah occurred during a September 2022 recording of the Archetypes podcast. When the actress Mindy Kaling made the informal mistake of addressing Meghan by her first name, the correction was swift and devoid of warmth. "I'm Sussex now," was the retort. While some might have interpreted this as a joke, Oprah's sources confirm it was a demand for hierarchy. According to Oprah, Meghan is haunted by her title because she recognizes that without the royal prefix, she is merely another actress who never quite achieved A-list immortality. This obsession forces her inner circle to walk on eggshells, performing a constant dance of deference to protect her fragile sense of self-worth. To prove this behavior was foundational rather than new, Oprah revisited the 2019 Wimbledon incident. Meghan's demand that 40 seats remain vacant around her in a packed stadium was framed not as a request for privacy, but as a delusion of grandeur. When a spectator tried to take a simple selfie, security, acting on Meghan's paranoid directives, intervened. She was not there for the sport, Oprah asserted. She was there to hold court. Creating a sterile bubble in a public arena is not privacy. It's an assertion of superiority. She wanted the public to feel their distance from her. The betrayal of Tyler Perry was perhaps the most emotionally resonant chapter of Oprah's report. Perry had provided everything: his $18 million Beverly Ridge estate, his private security, and a massive financial safety net during their initial transition to California. Yet, once she had used his generosity as a ladder to reach the top, she kicked the ladder away. When Perry expressed minor concerns about the PR-first nature of her parenting, the door was slammed. "Tyler has not seen those children in months," Oprah admitted. "He is devastated. He acted as a godfather, a protector, and he was repaid with strategic alienation." Oprah's most scathing critique focused on the performative nature of Meghan's humanitarianism. She revisited the 2019 visit to Cape Town, South Africa, specifically a meeting with a group of mothers living with HIV. The world saw a warm, compassionate Duchess sitting on the floor. Oprah, however, revealed that the unedited footage told a story of systemic emotional erasure. One woman was sharing a harrowing story of trauma: forced marriage, an HIV diagnosis during pregnancy, and the death of a child. It was a moment that demanded sacred silence. Instead, Meghan waited for a gap in the woman's breathing and cut her off. She did not want to engage with the pain. She wanted the camera crew to find the perfect angle of her humility. She traded a survivor's life story for a PR-friendly shot of her sitting on the floor. It was a masterclass in performative empathy, Oprah stated. She silenced a victim to amplify a brand. This main character syndrome extended into physical violations of space. At the 2023 Invictus Games in Germany, Oprah pointed to Meghan's treatment of Adria Brochu, an athlete in a wheelchair. "You do not touch a person's mobility aid without consent. It is an extension of their personhood," Oprah explained. Yet, Meghan grabbed the handles of the chair and physically maneuvered the athlete to ensure she was the center of the group photograph. To Meghan, the hero of the games was merely a piece of furniture blocking her Instagram moment. Oprah further unmasked the diplomatic failures that have characterized the Sussexes' international tours. In Abuja, Nigeria, in May 2024, raw footage showed Meghan completely ignoring a senior local representative who was delivering a formal welcoming speech. While the woman spoke of cultural heritage and sisterhood, Meghan turned her back, checked her hair, and stared into space. Because she was not the one with the microphone, she was not engaged, Oprah revealed. The pattern repeated at the Canucks hockey game on Autism Acceptance Night in November 2023. While an autistic singer performed a solemn rendition of the national anthem, Meghan was seen laughing and joking, disconnected from the gravity of the occasion. "If it's not about her, it is not worth her respect," was Oprah's stinging summary. Oprah expressed a deep, sickening pity for Prince Harry, describing him as a man who has lost the ability to breathe. She used the term suffocation to describe his role in the marriage. Since their move to Montecito, Harry has been stripped of every anchor: his family, his military pride, and his lifelong friends like Tom Skippy Inskip. "He has been reprogrammed," Oprah said. She pointed to the 2024 Polo Cup in Florida as a visual metaphor for this dynamic. When Harry's team won, Meghan pushed her way to the center, elbowing his teammates out of the way and clutching the trophy. It was Harry's moment of victory, but she turned it into her photo shoot. She has turned a prince of the blood into a +1 for her own vanity project, Oprah concluded. She makes him look small so she can look big. As the broadcast entered its final chapters, Oprah revealed the invisible wall that went up in late 2025. This was the moment King Charles III and Prince William shifted from being patient family members to heads of a state corporation who had seen enough. A major revelation involved Meghan's attempt to form a rebel bloc within the royal family by recruiting Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. Between 2023 and 2025, Meghan tried to use the York sisters as leverage to bypass the King's office, attempting to frame a narrative of the cool royals versus the establishment. However, the alliance crumbled when the Yorks realized they were merely being used as background dancers. Once Meghan's team began leaking private details about the King's health to the California press, the Yorks recognized her not as an ally, but as a liability. Oprah also addressed what she called legal terrorism, the constant barrage of lawsuits and threats from the Sussex camp regarding security and titles. By December 2025, after hints of a discrimination lawsuit regarding the children's lack of 24/7 armed security, King Charles issued a definitive decree. He did not just cut the funding, he stopped the dialogue. You cannot negotiate with someone who views every interaction as a potential Netflix plot point, Oprah remarked. The King and William have decided that for the survival of the crown, the Sussexes must be evaporated from the official record. They are not being attacked, they are being ignored. And for a narcissist, Oprah noted, silence is the most agonizing punishment. The broadcast concluded with what many are calling a clinical autopsy of Meghan's ambition. Oprah stood firm in her final assessment. This was the story of the total victory of the Princess of Wales' discipline over the Sussexes' calculated chaos. I spent years helping Meghan sell the idea that she was the modernizer and Catherine was the mute, Oprah admitted. But the truth is undeniable. Catherine is a steward. Meghan is a star. A star needs a spotlight to exist. A steward carries the light within them, even in the dark. Oprah pointed to the December 2025 Together at Christmas concert as the final battleground. Meghan's desperate attempt to sabotage the event by dropping a competitor special on Netflix failed. Catherine's Grace drew over 8 million viewers, while Meghan's project did not even break the top 10. You cannot manufacture royal grace with a PR team, Oprah noted. The public chose duty over me. The report ended with a look at the domestic reality for Archie and Lilibet. Oprah shared disturbing reports of Meghan cycling through 3 nannies in 6 weeks, allegedly due to jealousy over the children forming primary bonds with anyone but her. The children are being raised in a PR void, Oprah alleged. They are not allowed to be royal, and they are not allowed to be normal. In her final seconds of airtime, Oprah's voice lowered to a whisper. She revisited the September 2022 Windsor flower incident, where Meghan was seen flicking the hand of a royal aide. That was the real Meghan, Oprah said. The woman who does not see people, she sees props. She treated a veteran in a wheelchair like furniture, and a mother with HIV like a backdrop. Do not let the glow fool you, Oprah warned. The main character is always the hero in her own story, but she is the villain in everyone else's. I am sorry it took me 5 years to see the script for what it was. But today, the alliance is dead. The truth is finally free. As the screen faded to black, the devastating silence of the studio reflected the state of the Sussex brand. There was no prank. There was only the clinical deconstruction of a woman who had finally been booked by the very person who had once signed her checks.